training exclusively designed for SS3 and JSS3 graduates. Our comprehensive program covers a wide range of topics, including Microsoft Word, master the art of document creation and editing, unlock the power of data analysis and visualization, Microsoft Access, learn to manage and analyze database, Microsoft PowerPoint, create stunning presentations that captivate audiences, graphic design using CorelDRAW, unleash your creativity and design skills, Photoshop, enhance your image editing skills and create stunning visuals, programming using web design, build dynamic websites and web applications, database development, learn to design and manage databases, UI/UX design, create user-friendly and intuitive interfaces. At the Turabo Business School, we believe in creating world-class entrepreneurs and professionals. Our experienced instructors will guide you every step of the way, providing you with hands-on training and mentorship. Don't miss this opportunity to gain a competitive edge. Contact us today to learn more about our program and register for the next session. Call 080-6026-9140, 070-6342-8464, or 090-1010-8844 between 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Mondays to Fridays. Turabo Business School, creating world-class entrepreneurs and professionals. Join us today and unlock your full potential. Turabo Business School, opposite Civil Service Commission, Hamarua Way, Jalingo, Turabo State. Empower yourself with the skills of the future. Register now. In today's digital age, staying ahead of the curve is crucial for success. Turabo Business School is committed.
Good morning, Nigeria, and happy Friday to every one of us. To all our early birds, our hustlers, those that wake up in the morning to go to work, to all our lovers of the weekend, because the weekend usually comes with the smell of jollof rice, or that we may be expecting at the weekend for maybe at a party, at a get-together, even at home. The weekend is always a good time for everyone. Now, welcome to the Sun TV Morning Show. My name is Abraham Mainajoda, and this is where your day starts with sense, with spice, with information, and sunshine. You know what they say? They say Friday is like the last, the last biscuit in a sachet. When you have this biscuit, the last one, it always tastes better. Or the last rice at the bottom of the pot, the last meat in the pot of soup, it tastes better. We also share, as we rise and shine today, let's remember this powerful quote by the former President Goodluck Jonathan, who once said, "Without peace, there can be no development. And without development, there will be no sustainable peace." Let's learn to live in peace with one another. Now, let me give you a little gist about two communities. Some years back, they were fighting over land. They were having serious disputes. During the farming season, it was going to be war between the two communities over who owns the land. During the dry season, it's still the same war over who should use the land for this and that. But the youths came together. They found out they were at the losing end of this war. They were the ones always doing the fighting. So they decided, let us settle this on the football pitch. They took a piece of the land at the middle of the border of the disputed land, built a football pitch and said, okay, let us play to see who owns the land. And that is how they started this football match. And it has been a consistent thing over the years. Now they've learned to live peacefully among one another. Whenever there's tension, they go sort it out on the football pitch. That is the way we can live in peace and harmony. If we continue to live peacefully among ourselves, definitely development will come. So, on this note, we start the morning show. And you know, our morning show has the newspaper review segment, which will help you know who is saying what and why it matters. And we also go local with the English segment, Pidgin English segment, where Madam Esther Oka-Stephen and the crew will come to give you the information with the typical Nigerian flavor. Then straight from the heart of the Northeast, Jalingo, Taraba State, will bring you stories that has to do with Taraba State. And of course, don't step out without catching the weather report segment, because you may just need your umbrella today, maybe not. And with me this morning to share this this wonderful stage is Mr. Radane Kukwe. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Abraham, and good morning you out there. Happy weekend.
Welcome to the morning show. What's the weather like?
Well, it's bright and sunny this morning, and we look forward to a bright day, though we expect the rains to be as much as possible so that crops will do well. We look forward to having peaceful farming season. Talking about peace, there is a need for us to look at those things that unite us, because if you look at it, there are more things that unite us than things that differentiate us. First of all, we're humans. First of all, we are, those things that make you fear are the things that make me fear.
Definitely.
At a point in time, you have to be hungry just like me. So we're more united than we are divided. So peace is the end thing.
Thank you. That is just, we are more united than we're divided. The things that unite us are more than the things that divide us. That is just the truth. Now let's look at the weather report across the country today. But before we go to the weather report across the country, let's look at the forecast for Jalingo, Taraba State. For now, the weather is about 26 degrees, while it feels more like 28 because it's mostly cloudy, and precipitation is at 10%, while humidity is at 85%, and while the wind is at 30 kilometers per hour. So as it is, it's a sunny morning in Jalingo. While for the whole nation, let us look at some selected area across Nigeria. The weather is showing a mixed conditions, from foggy skies in the south to sunny warmth up north. In the nation's capital, Abuja, is currently 24 degrees and overcast, with temperatures expected to peak at 30 degrees. So it's going to be hot later in the day and may drop to as low as 22 degrees later in the day. Winds are blowing gently at 6 kilometers per hour from the southwest. Now let's just look at these temperature extremes. Warmest city for today is Katsina and Yola. They are currently leading with 26 degrees, enjoying bright sunshine. And Jalingo is also part of the warmest city this morning. And the coolest spots are Asaba, Oka, and several southern cities are sitting at a mild 23 degrees with fog and passing clouds. Now let's look at some city-to-city highlights. Abakaliki, Asaba, Oka, Umuahia, Yenagoa, mostly mild with passing cloud or fog, all over and around 23 degrees. While Lagos and Benin City, warm and partly foggy at 25 degrees. Kaduna, Zaria, Dutsi, mid to warm with scattered clouds or clear skies between 24 to 25 degrees. While Sokoto and Bauchi, overcast, yet warm at 25 to 26, and that applies also to Jalingo. Yola, we have clear skies, warm at 26 degrees, perfect start for the day. The strongest wind this morning are in Katsina, with gusts up to 22 kilometers per hour. And just some forecast tips for you. With varied conditions across the zones, it is a good idea to keep an umbrella handy or a raincoat if you're in the south. And if you're in the north, sunglasses, and just like mine here, sunscreen might come handy. So that's your weather report for today. Stay safe, stay dry, or enjoy the sun wherever you are. So that is the weather report.
Yeah, we just like I said earlier, we look forward to having a bright day, and that is it. We'll just go to the papers.
Okay, let's go to the papers. Let's start with the Punch. With the Punch. Okay, the cover page of the Punch, we have Dangote blames crude shortage as imports from U.S. surge. That is from page, that stories on page 18 of the Punch. While Israel threatens Kanemi after Iranian missiles wounds 240. That is the war between Israel and Iran. Then we have this major headline on the Punch. We say food inflation, NSA 36 state launch joint action. That is the story we will take on the Punch. There we have the story that says the 36 state governors have agreed to work closely with the federal government to harmonize levies, eliminate illegal checkpoints, and enhance the free flow of goods across states as part of efforts to address food security issues across the country. This comes as the chairman of the All Progressive Congress Governors Forum, Governor of Imo State, Opus Odima, stated that both the Progressive Governor Forum and the Nigerian Governors Forum agreed on the urgent need to adopt the long-standing proposal for a state-level security system to support federal initiatives. So food inflation continues to strain households across Nigeria, despite a technical drop in the year-on-year national average, which stood at 21.14% in May. So now the sharp drop from 40.66% in May 2024 is largely due to change in the base year, which affects year-on-year comparison. So at the subnational level, several states are witnessing sharp increases in food prices. What is even more striking is that many of the states experiencing the high food inflation and also major producers of food crops, highlighting a disconnect between local production and affordability. While national food inflation appears to be moderating due to statistical base effects, real-time price pressures are intensifying in several states. Supply disruption, insecurity, and high transportation costs remain key drivers of food inflation across Nigeria. Well, I would like you to respond to two key issues here. One,
okay,
the governors coming together to look at how they're going to harmonize, how they work closely with federal government to harmonize levies, eliminate legal checkpoints, and enhance free flow of food. We know that these things happen. You just all manners of checkpoints. And even the local government has to be brought into this, because you see local government levy collectors, you see this, you see that. Then how do you think this can be harmonized in such a way that it doesn't become a burden to those tied into this food chain business?
Well, the problem is that when you want to eliminate some of these checkpoints, these authorities at the local government or at the state level will tell you this is their constitutional right. Somehow this food is coming out from their locality and they deserve to get revenues for those produce. That is another perspective. So it's going to be a long walk.
The problem is there are a lot of illegal ones.
Yes, yeah, I understand. If all those illegal checkpoints are eliminated, is it going to go a long way in solving this problem? Because I think the major problem that is triggering this food inflation is insecurity and other factors such as insufficient inputs from governments and other stakeholders like that. So I think they should look at it from that perspective. The statistics here that indicates that inflation has shifted from 40% to 21% or thereabout. Some of these things are very pleasant to read on papers. But you go to the market and you discover that prices have not changed. You discover that the tubers of yam that you used to buy for maybe 2,000 or 3,000 is still the way it is.
And what they did was a year-to-year, 2024. They do year-to-year comparison, month-to-month. But if you do a year-to-year comparison, I think I would agree that there's a slight increase from 2024
to 2025.
to 2025. Because I know there was 2024 was a year that there was spike in the prices of food.
That's true.
Even if you look at grains, rice, beans. So some of these data, if you really settle down to look at it, you find that yes, it's true, but it is not enough. That is where the problem lies.
I agree with you that it is not enough, and there is a need for them to do it more than they are doing now. This meeting is long overdue. We look forward to actions being expedited in such a manner that it will translate to making the lives of Nigeria better. And another thing that they will need to consider is, what is it called? Access routes to some of these interiors where these foods are being produced. Insecurity on the roads, accidents. So I think 2 or 3 months ago we received reports, it is on the news, that farmers who transported vegetables, tomatoes and other things from somewhere in Sokoto to Kanu had ghastly motor accidents, and accidents happen. But if these routes, I think the accident was triggered by armed robbers pursuing the vehicle, and the vehicle was speeded. And so insecurity to constitute a major factor for this food inflation. This is not as if this is not good, but I think maybe it's some kind of distraction. Let's look at the main causative factors for food inflation and maybe give it more attention than we're giving this.
But if you go down, I think they looked at all the aspects, insecurity, just like the insecurity, access to the produce. If you look at the report down, I think it's very, very comprehensive. The problem is implementation. Now, to me, those illegal are those roadblocks between the market, the producers and the market is very, very crucial. I think was it last year, late last year or early this year, we had this issue of a petition written by former vice chairman of the Kurmi local government area.
Okay, about the checkpoint.
The checkpoint between
Abong and
Baisa. And if you look at the calculations he did, at the end of the day, you will find out that the problem, the price of, I think you used palm oil or something like that. It is not really the cost. It is those illegal
checkpoints that inflates the price.
That inflates the price. And I think this is replicated. Just look at from here to Ukari, different checkpoints. And at every checkpoint, be it the military, be it immigration, something must drop. Yes. Police, even and the only people that ask and don't demand is the vigilantes. And
the problem is that whether you are carrying contraband or what you are carrying is not contraband, so long as you lubricate their hands, you move. Without
customs, you see this, you see that. So these are the factors. This is also a major factor. And even if you move across Taraba, go to other states, you meet different
it's nationwide. It's nationwide.
People just extorting travelers and the rest of it.
Some few days ago, somebody was discussing how the worst place to travel through is Benue because of these illegal checkpoints. For every community you meet youths. Hostile and illegal, you understand? And you, at the point, they are so powerful that they can truncate your movements. They can cause you to stand by the roadside for only God knows how long until you comply with their demands.
And the same applies to, if you travel, you get to Onitsha, you go through the same, all manners of people collecting all manners of levies and tithes. You go through, you go to Lagos, the same, it is not as if this thing is limited to the rural areas only. Even in the city centers in Lagos, you find all manners of people from different streets. Everybody claiming that he is one thing or the other, is Omonile, you pay this, you are Agbero, you pay that, and if you don't pay, you don't move. So these are some of the things that the state governments need to look into. And also, the local government needs to be brought into this picture, the entire of the government. If they don't bring them into the picture, they will also set up their own levy collection point.
And just like we mentioned earlier, it is their entitlement. If it is legal, if it is not part of the illegality that some miscreant will just go mount roadblocks and collect money to go and misbehave with it, then it is a good thing. Kudos to this move. The governors are on the right track. Let's see to it that the implementation is being carried out to the letter, so that Nigerians are going to benefit from such policies of the government.
Okay, now let's move to, when it comes to matter of food, we must settle it very well. Now let's go to the Daily Trust. The Daily Trust, where do we have the Daily Trust here? Okay. Okay, if you have the Daily Trust, please you can take this.
Okay, there's this headline on the Daily Trust talking about Benue residents harbored killers, gave them food. That's a statement attributed to Defense Chief. Okay. There's you've seen it?
Yes.
Maybe
okay.
just continue from there.
Okay, then you have also on the Daily Trust, ground rent FCTA silent as 14-day grace period expires.
That's in Wiki and PDP yes. Secretariat.
It's true. It's 14 days. I hope those who are involved have paid their dues, because we know Chief Nyesom Wiki.
Yeah.
And the FCTA. Well, it's doing well in the FCTA. The only thing is that his politics is, but as an administrator, I think he's doing well.
I agree.
Uba Sani turned Kaduna from toxic zone to hub of progress. That is the president talking. Then the major headline here says Tinubu to choose running mate after convention.
Okay, before we go to Tinubu's running mate, look at what President Tinubu said in Kaduna yesterday.
I think we will get there. There's a paper that carried that story. Okay. That carried that. Until this day, we are going to analyze that on this day.
Okay.
I think this day carried it as a major, as a major story. Now let us look at what we are looking at. The headline on. Okay, on Daily Trust.
Tinubu to choose running mates after convention.
Bayo Onanuga, special advisor to the president on information strategy, said disclosed on Tuesday, responding to a question about why the president remained silent amid growing controversy over the omission of Vice President Kashim Shettima from a wave of endorsement for Tinubu. Onanuga dismissed the suggestions that the silence amount to tacit approval of the Vice President's execution. He said, when I read the report, I dismissed it as a non-issue. In the presidential system, the candidate emerges first, then selected running mate. That's what happens on Buhari. He was nominated first and later picked his running mate. You don't do both at once. And once INEC releases the timetable, the party convention will hold. And if the president is nominated again, he will choose his running mate, he said. Onanuga also rejected the claims that Tinubu's record as governor of Lagos State, where he changed deputy twice, indicated a plan to drop Shettima ahead of 2027. If you ask me technically, that is just the point. The primaries doesn't choose vice president. It chooses the president, then the president decides who becomes. I know there are issues around maybe people contesting, but if you ask me, that is just it. You don't, except if they've agreed as a party. But if they don't agree, they nominate the president, and the process for choosing the vice president will come.
But in politics, there is no smoke without fire.
Yes.
Some of these things may be triggered by some observations or some statements or some body language of the powers that be or people that are actually close. People talk. You may be surprised that this information is coming out from some credible sources. I think the best thing for all of us to do as Nigerians is to keep our fingers crossed and accept whatever it is that happened. It's possible that it is not going to, heavens will not fall if Shettima is being replaced as a running mate of Tinubu, and heavens will not fall if he's retained. He's doing well, to the best of my knowledge, and if their relationship is cordial, it is better off for them, it's better off for Tinubu to have a loyal vice president than to have somebody that, but let's see how it goes. We still have some time to. And
the vice president himself has been very, very mature about this. And even the president, both of them have refused to.
But if you see what happened in
but the two of them were not involved. I don't think.
Yes, I know, but if you see, what is it called? This Zulum, Governor Zulum of Borno, the way he behaved, the way he reacted, there's so much emotions, there's so much that you begin to, for him to be behaving like that, he must have seen something, most likely, considering his closeness with VP Shettima.
Vice President. Well, it is their problem. It is their party. Let them resolve it. As long as it doesn't disturb.
Yes.
I would be disturbed if it was at a national event that has to do. But it's a political party gathering. Whatever they want to do there, as long as they don't do it, they don't constitute nuisance or they don't break any law, they can have the argument, have their disagreement. It is if I see maybe in a program that is organized by the federal government, then I begin to see clashes between maybe supporters of the VP and the president as well. But for political parties, that is what they do. There is no state that you wouldn't see people already scheming.
It's true.
Not even people, you begin to see zones begin to scheme.
Yes.
That this is our turn.
This is our turn.
It happened with Osinbajo. Got to a point and say we change. Happened with Goodluck Jonathan. It happened with Atiku Abubakar was even.
It was so pronounced that. But let's see. Just like I said, let's see how it goes. So far, we have not seen any visible conflict between the president and the vice president. But something may be brewing.
Something is definitely brewing.
Yeah.
Something is definitely brewing. The calculations for 2023 is not the same calculation for 2027. There are a lot of calculations that were there that will give you the right answer in 2023, but now they just give you a plus or minus.
It's true.
Well, let's go to another paper, which is let's go to this day. This day has that story that you were interested about.
Okay.
Okay, this day. But let me take the stories on this day. Bank stocks rally as Ovia Umeoji acquires shares worth 3.3 billion in one day. Our first oil company promised to exit forbearance in December, raising more questions. That is the story on this day. Then we have also this story. Tinubu, Sani has changed Kaduna from toxic place to state with life, progress, and peace. That is the major story.
Well, I was trying to say that is it possible for the president to go? He was Obasanjo, former President Obasanjo was in Zamfara recently, and the only thing you hear from them is eulogy. They praise the governor. I don't expect the president to come out and be critical of Sani and say, okay, this you have not done right, and this politics requires that you should not say that. So some of these things are just.
But if you look at Kaduna State today, the toxicity in Kaduna State has
reduced.
I was listening to some reports this morning, yesterday, and even speak to the people of Southern Kaduna. They feel included. You see, all this agitation for marginalization, it has all gone down. And even as it is, when last did we have attacks in Kaduna? So I think politically, Sani
managed the crisis. He accepted, what is it called? The Southern Kaduna who felt they were marginalized in Nasir El-Rufai's regime by this Muslim ticket thing. There is a way he has incorporated them into his government. There is peace. There is reasonable, peaceful coexistence between the Muslims and the Christians. The dichotomy that was so pronounced in those days is not there anymore. But I'm looking forward to the situation where the president will say, yes, you have done this, and it's good. But there is a need for you to do this and do this. Yeah. Hardly will you see the president. I think he will be in Akwa Ibom.
Yes, in a few days.
He will still say the same thing. The man is excellent.
And they have a way of replicating their destiny. Something was built and named after him. So if they go to Akwa Ibom and something will be named that time.
As time goes on, hardly will all the what is it called? The monuments we have in Nigeria will be named after somebody or the other.
And one thing I just realized is that Uba Sani has been able to manage the politics of Kaduna State better. It's now a calmer place. But I foresee where you may have a problem. You know, they still run this Muslim
tickets. Yeah.
In 2027, there may be a need to balance.
But you know, politics is a game of number. If I talked about this during 2023 elections, and it doesn't go down well with some people. It's just a game of number. You understand? If these people have more votes, that they win election is something that is translated into the fact that they have the wherewithal to win the vote. So let's not just heat up the politics unnecessarily with, yes, if the governor feels as if he's trusted somebody that is a Christian from Southern Kaduna, he wants to take as a running mate, it's fine. But if he doesn't take that simply because he wants votes, let's go with it.
Right. And there's another statement credited to the president there. In Kaduna there, while reflecting on past collaborations with notable figures from the state, the president said he has the privilege of working alongside many Kaduna distinguished sons and daughters. And he used the occasion to acknowledge the significant contributions to national development. Tinubu also corrected the omission of Dangiwa Umar, a former military governor, who also played a prominent role in struggle for June 12 from his recent Democracy Day broadcast.
Okay.
He said, let me use this opportunity to correct an omission. Some of those people that I missed out during the June 12 broadcast at the National Assembly include Colonel Dangiwa Umar, retired.
Yes.
Today, let me correct that by honoring with CFR, Commander of the Federal Republic.
That's nice.
I think if there's something if there's information that comes out of Kaduna that yesterday that got me excited is the recognition of Colonel Umar Dangiwa. He is one of my heroes. He's someone that while I was young, I
read about them on the paper, and they were so critical of the.
It was so military with his thoughts.
Yes. You know, some of these people are some of the good stories we have from the north. You know, when you want to say that northerners are against the southerners and they are against MK Abiola because they're Yoruba man, you will see the likes of Umar Dangiwa, this senator.
Senator
Shehu Sani, and so many other northerners like that. Balarebe Musa and other people like that.
Dan Suleiman, Commodore Dan Suleiman.
Kairat, Godebi, Lit, and other people like that. So you discover that we are actually not against the narratives that was, though you discover that many northerners were with Abacha and like that. But somehow this is a good development for Nigerian democracy, and I think we're going somewhere with this move. Though I disagree with the fact that everybody that participated in June 12 should be honored, because it's like that is the
it is not everybody, but there are some people that play key roles in there. If you look at
if you are not given a national honor, does it mean that you have not played a key role to the development of Nigeria? Because I think some of these things, when you keep doing these things, where will you
but
take
they created these national honors for people who excel in things like the national honor was created to honor those who deserve honor.
And it does not really matter.
It doesn't. As a matter of fact, fight for democracy is one of the things, because the national honor is created to honor people, and it's done all over the world. Honors are given to people from merit award to MON. That is a member of the
Niger. That's
MON without EY.
What's the name of that comedian that cracked that joke?
Yeah. So the thing is that
Chief Zebediah.
Yeah, Chief Zebediah. The thing is that it is meant to honor people, and it's also something that make younger ones to look up and say, well, I want to be honored. And that is why this honor is given. Although the honor has been given to some people who many believe don't deserve this honor. But in all, I wouldn't say Colonel Dangiwa Umar,
he deserves that honor.
This honor, if you ask me. Okay, so I think that from the jab has been thrown by the president, and I'm expecting it's a jab at Malam Nasir El-Rufai. I believe before the weekend runs out, we are going to hear from Malam.
But the truth is, the facts are there for the fact speaks for itself. The fact speaks for itself. The truth is that Sani has managed the people, the differences, the dichotomies that has existed better than Nasir El-Rufai.
Yes.
During Nasir El-Rufai, it is so pronounced, his statements, so, so at times you begin to wonder whether he's in right senses when he utters some statements. You understand? You also make statements that divide the people directly like that without any missing word, without any, so patriotic.
Now let's go to the Guardian. The Guardian an expert revealed 50 million Nigerians with sickle cell warn against stigma. That story is on page 3 of the Guardian. The 1,500 killed in over 100 tanker accident, NEMA discloses. That is quite sad. Then 6,260 terrorists killed, 5,365 civilians rescued in 2 years, says Defense Headquarters.
Well, this is a good news. This information is coming at the heels of the stories that we hear how the terrorists are decimating the population of Nigeria for any good reason. So if we're killing them the way we're seeing in these reports now, then I think it's a good thing. The fight is on. We'll continue to kill them until we completely outrun them.
Well, there's this story. Iba's alleged sabotage at budget defense as Senate retreats democratic rule. That story is on page 29. And again, Tinubu inaugurates specialist hospital named after him in Kaduna. So that was what was named after a specialist hospital. And tension in Benin as herdsmen graze farmland, youths intercept boss. That story is on page 6. Then ICN accuses politicians, saboteurs of vandalizing electricity towers.
Politicians?
Well, that story is on page 30 of the Guardian. You can read it there.
Politicians?
Then this story, violent attacks, peacetime killings, question value of Nigerian life. That is that story is on page 4. Let us look at that story. That's analysis from the Guardian. Okay, I've seen that story. As the Guardian has it that the rising number of peacetime deaths in Nigeria, which is dwarfing the number of deaths recorded in war zones, defines the premium that Nigeria authorities play on human life. As life increasingly becomes cheap in the country, loss of faith in the government, erosion of public trust, negative economic consequences, and weakening of state authority are becoming commonplace. Look at the doom generated by the massacre of over 200 innocent residents of the El-Wata in Goma Local Government Council of Benue State years to abate. But the chances that the cold-blooded mass murder will occur again are far higher than the chances that it will not occur again.
That's true.
This explains why survivors are not chest jumping for their lucky escape. Instead, they are highly suspicious of every passing human because they do not know when the blood-tested vermin will come for their heads again. And we can see, if you go through Benue State now, you will see that there's tension. Everybody's a suspect. You saw one headline where they say buses
intercepted.
Intercepted. Then and they went further in this report to say this is how hostility and brutish life has become in Benue State, and indeed in many parts of the country. Now, the latest blood chilling operation carried out by suspected Fulani herdsmen are an all too familiar scenario, not just in Benue, but in many parts of the country, including Kaduna, Katsina, Borno, Zamfara, Yobe, Imo, Anambra, while spilling of blood has become routine in the last decade and a half or thereabouts. Now, I'd like to pick on this last instance. It said that the latest blood chilling operation carried out by suspected Fulani herdsmen are all too familiar scenario, but not just in Benue State. Now, Benue is in North Central, a predominantly Christian area. We also have Plateau.
Predominantly Christian area?
Christian area. Now, you will hear in such a place that it's an attack on Christians.
A statement
is an
organizations,
attack on minority
tribes that are predominantly Christian, and like that.
Now, take it further, including Kaduna.
Most likely Southern Kaduna.
Then you have Katsina.
Katsina is predominantly Muslims.
And Hausa Fulani.
Yeah.
So it's the attack on. So now, does this negate the fact that it's a target against just Christians?
Yeah, that's the truth.
They look at Borno, look at Zamfara, Yobe. Then if you think it's an attack on North, it goes down south, Imo, Anambra.
Yeah.
And we've had cases in Ondo and other. So you will see that there is no, everybody can be attacked by these people.
Yes.
Irrespective of your religion. So we should take away this. It's an attack on Christians, it's an attack on Muslims, it's an attack on Nigeria.
There is this call that I've been making the rounds recently, and it seems it has not received due attention by the chairman of Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, MACBAN. He said that Fulani ethnic tribe is being profiled and being described with a name that should not be, because there are Fulani people, there are herdsmen that are not killers.
Definitely.
There are herdsmen that are going about their legitimate business without committing any crime. But at times they have been attacked simply because there is this narrative that has been created that Fulani herdsmen are killers. You understand? So criminality has no tribe. People that kill, they most likely are not targeting a particular. They are just into crime. They are soldiers of fortunes. They just want to come, kill, destroy lives, and take spoils of war and move. Some of these things. That is just the way it is. Not necessarily people who have come to occupy. They said they want to occupy. They want to usurp the indigenous people and collect their land and killing Christians and other things like that. Just like you narrated here, it happened in Katsina, they are killers. It happened in Sokoto, they are killers. It happened in Benue, they are killers. It happened in the southeast, they are killers. Every one of them wield guns that are illegal. They perpetrate illegality, criminality that is way out of it. So let's look at it from the perspective where all of us, all hands has to be on deck to see to it that lives have been preserved and communities have been protected.
Yeah, and that is why we need to begin to look beyond our differences when addressing this issue of insecurity. We need to begin to, because I see that I may be wrong, but I feel there's this differences that if it happens to, we will say, well, it is their business.
Yes.
It is their business. I saw someone, which I had to comment, it said, he's tired with Benue people. They don't know. I said, this is not about Benue people. It is about Nigerians being killed. It could be, they're targeting Benue today. It could be you tomorrow.
And hardly will these people go to places that has no economic viability. The human life is valuable wherever you find it. Yeah. But there is a way they target places where the economy vibration there has impacts on the general well-being of Nigeria. They go to farmlands, you understand? They visit communities where, okay, look at Benue State where they are attacked. Benue State is the food basket of Nigeria, and this thing has direct bearing on the life of every Nigerian. So some of these things may be an attack on Nigeria itself.
It's an attack.
Not really those ethnic tribes.
They thrive because they are able to ride on this divide.
Yes.
They are able to ride on this divide.
They do this divide and rule thing. They grow using our disunity.
Yes.
You understand? You will say, okay, Fulani, I don't want to see a Fulani man again. And before you know it, it has a direct impact on the development of that place.
You attach religion to you, say because I'm a Muslim, that is why this attack is because I'm a... Then you now look at it, just look across the country, the same kind of crime. Today, during Christmas, you hear bomb blast. in the church. We see attack on Christians. But you also see during Ramadan.
Even Salah. Look at what happened in Kano some years back.
Yes.
It was during Salah prayers that bomb exploded and over 2,000 people died.
There is no Ramadan for the past 10 years that they don't attack people. You know, they know that by evening,
people will gather.
They will target them in the mosques and kill them.
And so for reasons that I don't know.
I don't know. That is just the problem. Well, I think the Guardian did a very good report here. But before we go, let's just take some one or two papers. Let's take one or two papers. Let me see. Let's look at just the headlines on the Matrix. I've just taken some headlines, and there's an interesting story in any of the papers. We take them. MO category C. Oyetola flags up Nigeria election campaign in London.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I think that has to do with a flag up for the
maritime something.
Maritime organization, international maritime organization. Then outrage, criticism, trade Tinubu's visit to Benin. The visit was trivialized, reduced to politics. Atiku Obi Adebayo das kick. And treason prosecution closes case against Nnamdi Kanu after 5 witnesses. That story is on page 3. Then amid mounting security, Federal Government Hill Service Chief for strengthening national security. Then we have court grant 15 million bail to Senator Natasha in defamation case. Then Kaduna Tinubu commends Governor Sani for developmental strike, pledge more support. We have BB Ninja Season 9 reunion, organizers announce premiere date and time. Let me leave it at that.
Yes.
Trump delays decision on joining Israel strikes on Iran, cites hope for diplomacy.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Then World Para Athletics Grand Prix, Nigerian bags 19 medals, finishes second. That's a good one.
Congratulations to Nigeria.
And this is going under the radar because and they're making us proud, but we don't.
At least, I think they should be given more recognition than now. There is ability in disability, and that's a proof to it.
Yeah, that's a proof to it. I'm just trying to see. I want to see reports on the medals Nigerians. Well, I think on the table. Okay, if I get that report, I will come back to it. I wanted to see what the performance of Nigeria in the Para Olympics. Okay, now let's go to another paper here. Okay, I think we've taken almost all the papers. Okay, let's take News Direct. News Direct say Nigeria throws art in the ring, flags off campaign. All right, federal government launches rev up to boost revenue, curb leakages. And FCCPC seals visa centers in Abuja over alleged consumer rights violation assaults. Sent the story this morning, whereby the center assaulted FCCPC officials, and they went there to seal it. I don't know why will you assault someone in his legitimate duty. We have rescued 5,365 individuals, neutralized 6,260 security threats in 2 years. That's Defense Headquarters. That story is on page 3 of the Nigerian News Direct. The Dangote Hills MPA's one-stop shop as game changer for energy sector. Court grants Natasha 50 million bail Fabio Yaya Bello defamation case. Let's even just look at that story briefly. Maybe we can
the Natasha case?
Yes. I'm just trying to see what. Okay, I think. Okay, the suspended Kogi Central Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan was on Thursday docked at the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory for allegedly defaming the president of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, and former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Adosa Bello. She was put on trial by the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice on 3-count criminal charges bordering on harmful imputation. The embattled suspended senator was accompanied to the court for the trial by husband and associates. However, when the charge was read, she pleaded not guilty. In view of her plea, the prosecuting lawyer, David Casway, asked Justice Chizoba Oji to remain her in prison till the determination of the charge. However, Natasha's lawyer, Professor Roland Otaru, sought and got permission to move bail application for the defendant on the ground that it was matured for hearing, having been served on the prosecution and having joint issues with each other. So, okay, in moving the bail application, Otaru urged the judge to exercise her discretion in favor of the defendant. So, okay, let's also look at the bail condition. The Justice Chizoba Oji noted that the alleged offense was not a capital one, that the law presumed her innocence for now. She admitted that to bail in the sum of 50 million naira and one reasonable surety in the like sum. The judge also said that the surety must be owner of landed property within the jurisdiction of the court. Meanwhile, September 20 has been fixed for commencement of trial in the charge. So, as it is now, she's free. She's on bail until September 22 when the case resumes. It's a case of criminal.
Is it a criminal case? Like the judge said, it's not a criminal case?
No, it is a criminal case, but it's not a capital. When it's a criminal case. So in this case, I've seen a lot of people talk about why should the federal government be prosecuting? Well, the case is a criminal case. It's a civil case that I sue you. But if it's a criminal case, it is the government that will charge, and that will charge you for that. So if it was me or you or I that said, okay, there's a criminal case against us, we are not the one that will be prosecuting. It will be the government that will be prosecuting the case. So I just want to make that clarification.
I saw some report yesterday that SERAP is suing the federal government, alleging that they should discontinue the suit against, I don't know, the paradigm for SERAP. They keep going to court for many cases, and I think they should just slow down and secure one judgment for their numerous court cases. Then they should continue. They keep going to court for every case like that, and I've not seen them securing any judgment.
Nigeria, the SERAP may just one day help us unravel one of those, because they unravel one of those naughty issues with some policies in Nigeria. So let them keep doing. If you first you don't succeed, try again. That is what SERAP keep doing. And I think they also have something to, there's a part they play. There's a part they play, and that part is the part of advocacy. It's a part of advocacy which you can take out. They may just, they may keep doing it, and one day they may be able to just help us put sanity into a law that is not, that need to be sanitized.